like what you're building in this space right now. It's been quite wide of your work.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah. You know, we're always out of thesis because we've been the ones pitching biometrics in crypto back in 2020, and now we're pretty much the only ones who are trying to do the governance, which is not based on tokens, which is a really hard task. But anyway, thank you for your kind words, Chung, and for your ready for your insights, because I want to talk about stable coins from different angles. And well, first of all, yeah, the industry is growing. I mean, this is probably the best number one growing thing right now with crypto, especially given the bear market, and it's a narrative that is not going away at all. And basically, I wanted to ask you, like, stable coins that we had in the beginning, they were kind of like DAI. They were more pro decentralization, right? They were about, yes, it is kind of pegged to dollar. It tries to keep the peg to dollar, but the underlying assets that create the stable coin would be Ethereum or basically any kind of decentralized cryptocurrency. And now we shifted away from it. From what I know, the only like more or less decentralized in terms of backing stablecoin is Liquidity, right? And that's pretty much it, right? Okay, EtherFi, you know more about them. They also kind of partially decentralized. Basically, please enlighten us on what's happening here with basically are stable coins becoming more and more basically custody owned in terms of their backing, or there are still experiments with successful ones with decentralized stable coins in terms of backing?
I think yeah, previously, like Bitcoin, if we think that it is created because of the kind of payment, people wanted to use that as a payment rail, and that's why it's supposed really substitute or replace US previously, because people got printing fiat. I also know about Bitcoin. During my MBA, I did my MBA in Nigeria, so a West African country. My roommate was Nigerian, doing a lot of transactions with Bitcoin. That's why I know that Africa a lot of stable coins and to do payments. So I really buy the stable coin thesis even back in the days, like many years ago. I think people are talking about like decentralization right now. Tether and USDC, they are for the payment. They are also kind of for the decentral. So that was kind of what people use nowadays. But right now, I think for this cycle, if we are talking about, it's mostly about using stable coin to make money. Like it's kind of fun. If you're looking at Ethereum, why is Ethereum successful? Why has it become? I think like previously they have maybe 7 billion, which is a huge number that they just grew within a couple of years, like 2 to 3 years. And because people wanted to get the yield, they are doing delta neutral hedging strategies, and people are not using that for payment. And they don't really care about decentralizations. They care, but I think people right now, or many of the focus right now for people on stablecoin is really about yield, how much yield you can generate for us. And if we are looking at other very successful or emerging stablecoin eco schemes, they are kind of doing the same thing. I think, for instance, Ethereum is the stablecoin on Ethereum chain, right? But on Solana, there is, for instance, Solstice. They've got, I think, over 350 million of TVL. Not a lot, but the thesis is also how do they generate yield for users. Unitask, the same thesis. So many of the thesis right now is really yield generation rather than they don't really focus that much on decentralizations of banking rails. So I think there are two kind of schools of thoughts, and they are kind of walking away for a bit. And uh, I would say at the end of the day, people care about decentralizations, but they really, or users, degens, they really care about how much yield you can generate first. Because right now, people are looking for ways to get yield. That's why we are seeing so many stablecoin system right now. I can say like Gaia, they were doing GPU stablecoin, World Mobile, and now I heard there are some trade dollar stablecoins. They are using some of the trade to the stable coins, and also USD AI. They are using AI like GPU powers to also generate yield for people. So stable coin has just become a thing that people think about. Okay, how much return can I get? So rather than a decentralization, I think it has changed a lot since previously. But this is what I kind of feel right now.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Before that, we had Dai, we had Rai, right? And Rai is almost nowhere in terms of adoption right now. And Dai basically became, well, MakerDAO turned into Sky, and it's not, well, it's as well backed by treasuries right now, not by Ethereum or other decentralized cryptocurrencies. So, interesting thing is like, I talk to people sometimes, yeah, and just to people, my friends who want to keep money safe out of the banks that can freeze their money, etc. And I'm having a hard time so far to tell them exactly, like, almost a financial advice, but just where do you keep your money in if you just want to save this money? And they all know about stable coins, they know about USDC, USDT, they all know about Tron, of course, for some reason, which became so popular all over the world for stable coin transfers. And I'm telling them they're actually, well, stable coins right now that you can just hold them and they will earn money for you. And the question is, what are the risks there? Yeah, because there is still a lot of trust issues, just like with the fiat currencies, just like with the banks. And another question is, where is the yield coming from? And while it is very easy to explain if the yield is coming from the treasuries, yeah, this is what pretty much USDC, USDT are doing, but they're never sharing the yield with the users yet. Probably, you know, with the proliferation of these yield-bearing stable coins, they will change their well, thinking, opinion, and business model as well. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, the question is like, what is, let's say, the stablecoin yield bearing that, on the one hand, brings you most of the yield, and what kind of backing it's using, what kind of mechanism it's using for that, and which is one that you can trust the most, in your opinion?
So, like, our fund does not, like, our fund invests in different stable coins. Of course, one of our biggest bet is Ethena. The reason we did that is because uh, Guy, which is the founder, he's very operationally excellent. He has the connections and he keeps the money safe. We love his strategies, and later on, it has proven that our bet was also correct. We've also invested in, for instance, Meso, which they did a Bitcoin-backed stable coin. So all the stable coin that they mint is backed by Bitcoin, which is arguably the safest asset, crypto asset in the entire space. And basically, the collateralized ratio right now is, I think, 300%. So for every $1, behind there is $3 worth of Bitcoin backing them. And I think they are very well. They will be listing soon. They are backed by Multicoin, Pantera, Hack, etc.
I have,
They're
sorry, I have a really big question here, but how can you actually earn money from it if it has such a big backing? And Shouldn't the yield be very low given the backing of 300% over collateralization? It's crazy.
Yeah, so the collateralization ratios is very high, which means the currency is not high enough for them to make a lot of money. They are just starting out, so they will be having a lower collateralization ratio. So they haven't launched yet, so they are trying to push for it. And I think they've just had a partnership with Anchorage. Anchorage is also one of the very large and settlement firm, and they are doing some partnerships there. So I think by probably January or February, the collateralization will be low, a more capital efficient, also safe ratio. That's why I think right now, if you're looking at the yield, they're offering 30% that in terms of APY, which is very attractive. They want more people to come to mint that stable coin, and then which can lower the kind of collateralization ratio. Here to share any portfolios we've backed. I'm just kind of saying their mechanisms, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of the yield, when we are looking at these, like what kind of stable coin is the safest compared to the yield they get. I think is a framework. So the first, I think one should look into on-chain metrics to see whether there's real backing, whether all the things are trackable. Because for instance, they've just gone bankrupt after 1010. They were a stable coin, but it's trackable. They are doing a highly leveraged loan, not on chain. So I think if they are not having data on chain, it's a red flag. It doesn't mean it's not safe. It's just a red flag. I
They
think
were
this
acting
is
more like a regular bank, yeah, like high leverage, not enough collateral, etc.
yes, exactly. Unless the team you trust them, I think so. This is the first think about the framework, and then basically the second thing is need to look at where the yield is coming from. So if the yield is coming from the governance token or some of the tokens that doesn't really have much value, you need to be careful. Like Luna, people were very bullish, right? They thought the yield is very high, but like Luna stablecoin is just backed by the governance token, which also pose some risk. So there is some inherent risk. So you need to look at like what is the underlying yield, and then the third thing, when you're looking at the underlying yield, need to really do some of the kind of what do I say, due diligence, because some of them they will say, okay, this kind of yield is coming from real world, coming from real business, real loans. But I think there needs to be a way for you to track or for you to see where is those kind of so-called real yield, because everybody can say some mistakes. And when you're trying to make money with stable coin with interest, maybe they are just thinking of taking your entire principal. I think that's
Oh
the
yeah.
real risk. And personally, I've participated into many TVL or stablecoin programs right now. Like I've done Makina. I think they are by Dialectic Group, so they are the one who run Game Square, which is a listed company. Yes, I think Game Square. Yes, publicly listed company. Gave them I think 80 million worth of Ethereum to run and participate in the Solstice and other Solana stablecoin protocol. So I'm testing different things out, but I'm never putting all my eggs into one basket. I'm just putting maybe my portfolios dividing into maybe 8 to 10 different stablecoin protocols. So even if one died, I can still survive because I'm thinking each of the stablecoin protocols can generate 20% of yield. So in 1 year, if I divide into 10 baskets, I can get 20% out of the 10. So I can allow for myself to be wrapped at least for one or two protocols out of those. So this is kind of how I think about that. And I'm almost certain at some point in my life, some of the stablecoin protocols that I invest in or I put TVLs in, they will suffer. And yeah, and the last thing of the framework of stablecoin is I personally prefer to deploy on projects that haven't launched, because if they haven't launched, the team have incentives to make things work. If the projects have launched and their performance is not super well, I think there might be a risk. Sometimes it's not about the team wanting to work. Sometimes it's just uh, there are there are some hackers or there are some unwanted incidents. Because if you're looking at Yala, I think that was a good example. Within a week, Yala was listed on Binance Spot, but their stablecoin went from I think 1 to 0.2 just because of some incidents that happened there. So I think you just need to you can't I think the mentality is you need to think about you will have a loss. You will some of your disabled clone projects you invested in, they will get wrapped or you will get wrapped, but you just need to minimize that by diversifying into different kind of baskets.
Nice, nice. Would be cool if I could give my like little crypto friends. I mean, they're not totally non-crypto, but just one button to buy a basket of those. That could be a nice product, man. Yeah, for retail.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw some of these kind of products. I think Almanic and Giza, they are doing these things, or there are some products they make a vote saying, okay, they are investing into different stable coin protocols. I think you can find some on Morpho as well. So they have curators so saying, okay, if you invest in a vault, they are kind of allocating. But if they are allocating in stable coin, you also need to think about where are they allocating, uh, and also track them. And I think ultimately, many of the stablecoin protocols, I'm guessing they just allocate their funds or vault to the largest stablecoin protocols. So there will be some overlapping in terms of the exposure. So one needs to be very careful about that as well. I think I wish one day everything can be on chain so we can track where the money goes. But I think until now, we cannot achieve that at this kind of stage. And maybe I think human knows you guys can work on some stable coin as well, or some projects that solve some of the issues on the stable coin. If maybe in the future.
Yeah, right now, to be honest, we're fully focused on governance, and stable coins are is a very competitive field where you need a lot of, to be honest, financial connections. Probably you have to live in New York or Singapore to do that. Yeah, to pull it off. And yeah, to be honest, for me, stable coins are like the. Uh, so I've been to proof of stake market before as a like validator. We're developing applications for proof of stake, and to be honest, it wasn't that funny and inspiring as building humanoids, because here we're trying to uh, create a new system, and there's like a lot of drivers to come up and build humanoid 5 years later every day, apart from printing, well, not printing, but I mean generating money and revenue. Yeah. And yeah, if we come up with some crazy stable coin idea, yeah, sure, that would be nice. But the only idea we had so far at Humanoid, which we could implement by using our biometrics, and not really hard one, is let's say I won't call it loans, because when you call something a loan, you're going through a regulatory struggles already. But it's like uncollateralized uh, gas tokens. For example, you need right now tokens to claim some stuff, but the gas is too damn high. And by scanning your biometrics, you can get one non-collateralized loan per one account for like $20 maximum. And if you have high enough interest rate on it, you can actually, well, let some people not return it. Of course, they will be blacklisted. We will send them some kind of NFT, like he didn't return money to his address. Everybody will see it. Yeah, but if you have, it's like It sounds like microcredit, but it's just for gas payments. This was one of the DeFi ideas we always had, but never went to build because we have to focus, man. Otherwise, we will never build a new governance system, which is the hardest application we've ever built in our lives, probably. And we've built like a lot of those in our lives. Uh, yeah. And did you have any ideas that you're ready to tell publicly about, unless you want to hide them for yourself and maybe yourself get into stablecoin market with some new strategies?
Um, so honestly, I was having a chat with some other VCs just earlier before our call, and I think right now what we are seeing is I think the first thing is as you've mentioned, I totally agree. The stablecoin market is getting very competitive if you are just using some delta, like some crypto degen or crypto native way to generate yield. And that's why if you go on to Morpho or Midas, you can see many of the curators, they are not even charging fees, or they are just charging very low fees, because and all of these curators, they need probably over 200 million of AUMs in order for them to make money or generate profit from themselves. So this is getting a lot competitive. So one trend we are seeing is these creators, they came out to build their own projects, build their own stable coin. They raise funds either from VCs or get TVLs from public, and then they launch a token. And why would they launch a token? Uh, I think they launch a token because the token Treasury can subsidize the yield of the stable coin. But ultimately, if they are just using Treasury to subsidize the yield, it's not going to be sustainable. I
Yeah,
think
it's
this
a
is
way
the
just down and down for the token, and you don't really have any revenue, real revenue. It's not real revenue. It's just dumping into the market, let's say.
yeah, it's just a game. It's just a Ponzi game if they are not even doing some real thing. But because team is not or creator is not generating enough profit, that's why they need to build their own project. And I'm not saying all of them are, but I'm saying I'm seeing this trend. So need to I think first of all, the space is getting a lot more competitive. So need to be very careful. And then the second observation I'm having here is really many of the projects, even they're not doing stable coins, they have nothing to do. They're trying to come up with a way saying, okay, we build this stable coin. But in fact, realistically, a stable coin should be something really stable. But they're just saying this is kind of stable. They can drop in value, they can increase in value. They are just trying to play some trick inside. So this is kind of the second thing I'm seeing. Some stable coins, they are not really stable. They can drop in value, and you just need to look at what is behind. So they're trying to wrap something outside, saying, okay, you're getting the revenue from somewhere. So I think at this stage, so probably if we have this conversation a year back, I would be very, very bullish. But right now, at this stage on time, I think the kind of stable coin hype is at its mid or late stage. So you will see many projects are coming out to do stable coin, and maybe you're seeing a lot of them. But at the end, maybe after some time, you see a lot of them, they just die. So I don't want to make the last penny. So most of the time, once I think after next quarter, I'll just be fully on real stable coin like USDT or USDC. I'm not gonna do these kind of yield generating stable coin, because I think right now I'm seeing a lot of risk. If you have seen this month, no, last month, yeah, from October to now, we've seen Yala collapse, we've seen Stream Finance collapse. So I think these are not small things, these are big things that we need to be careful in. But right now, I'm still farming some of the stable coins that haven't launched, like Solstice, as I've mentioned, Makina, etc. I think they are pretty decent. I'm supportive of them. I'm good friends with some of the people who work there. So I just want to see them do well, and I believe in the vision. But I'm just gonna kind of stop this kind of stable coin farming. I think after probably one to 2 quarters, I think this will be a lot more safer strategies to do. And for our fund, we are still continuously looking at very good stablecoin protocols, and even not just stablecoin protocols, but AI space, robotics, and we've set up this new thing about pre-IPO space. So we've just committed a low mid seven figure to a project that should be listing on IPO soon. So we are doing different things. And I think not only stable coins, there are many interesting things happening out there as well. Yeah. So no really special strategies. But I'm personally farming a couple of them like Solstice, Machina, Miso. They all haven't launched. That's why I farmed them. And after 1 or 2 quarters, I'm just gonna stop it. And of course, I'm doing some RV, like yeah, but RV isn't really stable coin. I've done Spark, so very safe stable coin farming, but those are not generating as high yield as I'm kind of targeting. I think for crypto people like us, we are targeting at least like 20% in terms of yield if we are doing farming for stable coins.
2020 sounds crazy for step because that's the same amount that Terra Luna gave, right? It sounds scary. Okay, man, I'm surprised to hear that. But eventually, why would you switch back to USDC and USDT? Yeah, this is a much wider question. So we have neobanks right now emerging right and left, which are not real banks. Yeah, they don't have banking license, but they give you a better UX, they give you better customer support, everything, unlike banks. And they're built on stablecoin rails as well, most of them. Revolut is on Polygon, okay, like PayPal has its own stablecoin, etc. And I'm wondering, like, given all this less risky, let's take yield bearing stablecoins like AVS, like SDAI was also I'm just not following MakerDAO at all right now, but it was also interest bearing. Why do we have the great adoption of like USDC? Visa brings USDC to the banks, like the news from 2 days ago. Yeah, for 24/7 instant settlements if you need them, unlike regular fiat. So, what are they gonna do in the world where you have Coinbase, Gnosis giving you cards which also give you 5% cashback, and then you have yield bearing stable coins, but these USDCs and USDTs they never give you any yield. So, what do you think are they gonna be doing in this regard?
Yeah, you are asking tough questions. I think just like when people ask me why I'm eating rice, I think probably a habit or culture because they have been there for long and they haven't died. And I'm I'm just stick to the oldest options. I'm kind of old school, and also like USDT, USDC, they are most convenient options for trading many of the crypto tokens. If I want to buy tokens, I always use them. Unless I mean PayPal stablecoin or other stablecoin can allow me to have different pairs. I
Oh
think
yeah, they don't do that at all.
yeah, but things are changing. If you have seen today, there's a new stable coin called U, which is called maybe United States. I think United States is a stable coin. I think they are getting listed on many of the majors. Some new stable coins are happening, and Binance they have their own stable coin, which I think is called USD or something like that.
Yeah.
That stable coin you can make yield, you can trade, but that's only available pair. So I think I just want the most common pair. And then also for on ramp, off ramp is a lot easier for USDT, USDC. So I did my MBA in Nigeria. I've lived in 6 months in Egypt. I started an NGO in Kenya. I did my master's in Norway. So I travel around the world. And most of the time, I can just on ramp and off ramp USDC, USDT very easily. In particular, even in Nigeria, I haven't. Yeah, a lot of times when I need money, I just USDT. So I think maybe one day, maybe if PayPal or some very big players, they can have a very easy on ramp, off ramp options for their own stablecoin, I will be using them. But right now, I guess I'm just gonna stick to that. If I wanna get yield, yeah, do the 20% or 30% yield. It sounds too good to be true.
You will not be in between, yeah. So.
I think in the crypto space, there are many free money. Many of the things sounds too good to be true, but I think we need to believe it's true. And of course, we need to know what is the risk. And I still believe like 10% or 20% is very doable in the crypto space safely. But one just need to be very, very careful into. I'm not saying, yeah, I mean, Luna was the same thing, but that was a bit tricky.
And I remember reading the white paper in the metro like train, and I'm reading it 2018. They haven't launched that, and I'm saying this is impossible. This cannot work on large scale. And it went to such a large scale. Oh my god. Yeah. So you have an interesting take.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was sitting on a big pile of cash and trying to, well, and I don't want to keep it all in, for example, Bitcoin or whatever, Nasdaq, or I would totally hold on to the safest like 4%, 3% yield bearing stable coins. And if I need to ramp off, I just swap them in one click. I mean, it's not a problem right now, right? From any chain to any chain, you swap any asset into any other asset, if there is enough liquidity, of course, in one click. So why would I sit on USDC? I probably won't. Yeah, but your take is interesting because you don't need 3%. Yeah, you just don't want to risk, yeah, getting 3-4% yearly.
Yeah, no, what saying is right. I think, yeah, the man to chat. I also need to learn from you. And also, I remember a couple of weeks ago, and one of the most active funds in the space, we had a call. He said, okay, he's also trying to look for ways to generate yield. And I gave him some options. I said, okay, this protocols they are having on stable coins, but he is very skeptical. He just want to use his USDC to generate yield. He doesn't want to turn his USDC into some other USDX or USDY or USD something.
He would rather lock his USDC in smart contract. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the mentality that maybe many of the investors have, or many of the people have. They know a lot about USDT and USDC, and they don't trust. I think trust is needed to be built. And but anyhow, there might be some new in the crypto space. I think every once in a while there are new things happening, like new KOLs. I think a couple of months ago, Murad was very famous, and then he was famous for 6 months, and then people do not even pay attention. Ansem, the same thing. Even back in the days, of course, Luna Terra. People, it's like a religion. People put a lot of money, but then they die. I think it's just like a game. So maybe in the future something will replace USDC or USDT. But I think many of the kind of the culture right now, especially from people, investors that I know, they just want to generate yield, but they don't want to do swap into other stable coins. They just want to lock it in the smart contracts, and they don't care what the smart contract is doing, but they just think that's safest. Maybe it's just the mentality thing.
True, true. I mean, I have people um, who do not swap their Ethereum into Lido staked Ethereum for some reason because they say 3%, 2%. Like, no, I would hold my Ethereum on my address and not send it to some smart contract. Yeah. And yeah, there are people like that who are like the game is not worth the risk. Basically, that's the thing. Yeah. And as you said, if there is a 20% game, then it might be worth the risk. Yeah. Interesting mentality, man. Interesting. Um, look, do you
And
remember? Yeah,
so
sorry.
I wonder, do you also farm stable coins? Do you like, are you bullish on some stable coins? I know you mentioned you haven't, like, your focus is on human node, so
Yeah,
maybe you don't have time to read a lot or farm a lot of things. But also
yeah. I
wanted to.
just recommend sometimes to my friends who are richer than me. But no, man, I myself, I'm not keeping fiat money since 2017. Like I'm only holding altcoins, and I rotated them over 2 cycles already, or 3 cycles. 3 cycles, sorry. Yeah. And no, I'm never holding fiat or stable coins because I truly believe in crypto and I'm ready to suffer the volatility. I'm ready to make my life volatile as the asset I created is. So this is my position because I truly believe there should be currencies in our world which are not government controlled. So I remember the days when you entered crypto market not through stable coins. You were buying Bitcoin. You were depositing Bitcoin on exchange, and all the pairs were traded with Bitcoin on Poloniex and Bittrex, whatever. And right now, nobody cares about like non-stable pairs. I mean, why would you even use them, right? And it's really hard to imagine any volatile thing to become like unit of account. But I don't know, maybe given the size of some cryptocurrency. Well, Ethereum is pretty much almost a stable coin, It's very stable for 4 years. It's like and given the devaluation of the dollar, yeah, so Ethereum is kind of stable. Maybe over 10 years we'll see that Ethereum is more stable than the dollar because why would you hold on the dollar for all of your life if you understand that the policy of the country is to devalue the dollar in order to boost the exports, yeah, in order to rebuild the home industry inside the US on the soil, let's say, and all of that. And we understand that it's the same happening with the Asian countries, right? So Japan was always devaluing its currency because, hey, the exports are great, yeah? The business is going great because we can produce cheaper and sell it yeah, more expensive just because we devalue our currency. So I'm still a believer in some kind of decentralized assets that store value and can be used as medium of exchange if you're basically ready to risk. And we see that most of the people in this world are ready to go for a big risk. People love speculation, gambling, all the things because there is no other way to become rich nowadays. You cannot buy yourself a home by working 9 to 5 job unless you're working at AI for many, many years, and AI will be still on hype, and you will still get the salary to buy yourself a home. Yeah, what people are gonna get is 50-year mortgages and crazy gambling, and I believe that if I'm gonna gamble, I'm gonna gamble like fundamentally, and I'm gonna gamble big. I'm all in HMND. Like I'm selling assets I had to buy HMND. So uh, and yeah, since 2017 I'm just all in altcoins because that's how I also discipline myself to track them better, to do my analysis, because for me there is no safe haven. We're in our industry. In the beginning we were trying to create new currencies. We stopped doing that for some reason. Now we're talking crypto assets. Now we're talking revenue meta, yeah, just money generating companies, but not money creating companies for some reason. And I think it might come back. This narrative should come back because there was no currency in the world which was not going through hyperinflation, and it will happen to the biggest currencies of our world as well. And this is when people will be looking other currencies. Well, Bitcoin still has this. Ethereum, you know, do you remember how often on X timeline we have seen like a year, 2, 3 ago, ETH is money, ETH is money. Now we don't see it at all for some reason, and I think it's gonna be back because this is why the industry was created in the first place. So yeah, this is my stance on stable. I'm really interested in how it gets yields the stable coins, but I'm not into them myself because I'm all in.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. I haven't seen a lot of people that are still very religious or that still believe. I think many of the VC friends I know, uh, they kind of get tired, or many people they just think, okay, the kind of crypto side is dying. And even I went to lots of conferences. Also, I just came back from New York. Uh, the impression I got is many builders they built or new builders, they build because they think, okay, I can. Uh, say something, I can tell a story, I can build something, and then I can just get it listed, and then I can uh, I accomplish. I think this is kind of uh, different. I remember I think a couple of years ago when you go into the room, you talk to people, they are really intrigued or impressed by the tech, and they're really discussing something new, not just copy something into another chain or just do small things. But I think I'm not saying right now builders are not good. I'm just saying I'm seeing many of the people trying to do some small innovations rather than radical innovations. Both things can work. I'm not saying which is good or which is not, but of course, I'm very interested to see some more radical innovations and more discussion about like the real importance of cryptocurrencies, how they can really impact the world. I still think, of course, same as you, Bitcoin is gonna be doing very well, not only price wise, but the importance to the world. I think we need something like that. We need to believe in something so we can wake up every day, really to think. And right now, thinking back, me investing or doing stable coins is just to have fun, like generating some good yield and have some good vacations and enjoy life. But honestly, I'm also looking forward to really backing very visionary founders that want to make a change. I think that's the end goal. Stablecoin is just the journey that I can have fun and make some yield and enjoy life. I think that's kind of the key that I'm doing here. Yeah, but anyhow, stablecoin, I think this kind of matter will also is kind of at the very late stage unless there are some real innovations. I don't see this kind of matter can continue for a very long time. Right now, I
I
think
mean, we
people.
will just take it as is, right? They will be just there. So we will stop talking about them because they're just working, and that's it. And
Yeah,
yeah, well, but people will still be working on them 100% because it's a good business, and stable coins are useful for some things. By the way, there was a contrary opinion. Yeah, okay, we're talking right now about stable coins, but mostly we're talking them about yield bearing, some kind of store of value thing. Yeah, not like payments, cross border transfers, all of this. And while Visa is kind of integrating stable coins, probably just because of the fact that they run on blockchain and it's 24/7, and in some very, very well, bad situations, you can't wait for 1, 2 days before the settlement is done. Like it is now in US, it's T+1, it's T+2 in all over the rest world. If you're talking about interbank transfers and especially cross-border ones, and this is why they're using stable coins there. I can understand it, but I've seen the interview with the founder of Wise, and Wise is bigger than all the stablecoin market that we have in crypto in terms of transfers. They're doing like trillions of transfers yearly, and stable coins, I believe, are not there yet. And they say, well, we actually don't need stable coins. They are worse in terms of the fees you pay. They are worse in terms of rates that they can get with the current infrastructure. And the reason why is pretty simple. Yeah, is because all stable coins are around dollar, and we don't have local stable coins. There is no liquidity if you want to transfer money from one country to another in their local currencies. Yeah, and so you can do cross-border payments, but again, the on-ramp to stable coins, off-ramp from stable coins back to local currency, it will be much more expensive than the infrastructure that the banks provide. And basically, the CTO of Wise said the best thing we could do to make another step further is for non-banking entities like neobanks to be able to connect directly to the central banks. And this would be like a great step forward. Then we could decrease the fees even more, because yeah, so basically it's surprising, but crypto had this speech of cross-border transfers, and I remember Bitcoin being used in like trade between China and Russia. I do remember it clearly. But eventually, you see the founder of one of the best applications for cross-border payments, transfers, remittances says we don't need it at all. Yeah.
I also heard the same thing from Al Wallace. So Al Wallace is another. So Wise is mostly for like C2C. Al Wallace is for B2B. He said the same thing. I think Jack Zhang, and it was very controversial. Crypto folks disagree. So there was a big fight, and so personally for me, I was using Wise back in the days when I did my masters in Norway. One day I got blocked because I sent maybe just 20K worth of US dollars, and then maybe they think it's too much, etc. And then my account got closed. Uh, and I'm not doing money laundering. I'm just sending money over. And I search online. I think many people experience the same thing. I think one of the
Yeah.
thing about these kind of like Air Wallets or Wise is KYC. Of course, they say they are trying to prevent bad people, but they can unilaterally block your account
But
if
a
they.
lot of the times it's false positive. Yeah. Yeah. I understand
Yes,
it. And yeah, it's one of
yes,
the
I think.
values of crypto, because you don't want to get money stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then even my bank, I think a couple of my banks also got closed because I was buying crypto with bank, and then they asked me what are you doing? And I think I am allowed to use my money to decide what do
Exactly.
I want to do. I I I
Not
don't know. I
illegal
think,
to buy crypto. What are you talking? Yeah.
yeah, I feel people in the crypto industry, or at least many of them, we have the same kind of feeling, or we are kind of alike because we want freedom, or we don't want to be told what to be done. I think that's the first thing about Wise or Air Wallace that they cannot do. And then secondly, uh, to me, I think stablecoin is the base layer. Blockchain technology is the base layer. Like it can really send things very fast. For Wise, maybe they are better than the like legacy banking system, which have different standards in different countries, etc. But even Wise or Air Wallets, they have they are not like a blockchain. A blockchain is working anywhere, any seconds. Of course, depending on which kind of blockchain you're using, but it's very fast. It's very cheap. So I really believe this is the base layer. Maybe Wise or Air Wallets can build something on top, but I don't think it should be a reverse thing. Because if we think about that, we need to think about what is the safest technologies, or what is the technologies that is most scalable, that can enable a lots of payment. I think is blockchain. And right now, maybe blockchain is not that advanced, but of course, in the future, it can be very scalable. We can find some super app. I think this is really what I'm looking forward to. And I think the only thing our wallets cannot do is they cannot prevent these KYC, etc. They need to do these kind of things, and this is not something that I want, at least. That's why I love privacy. That's why I think we want to keep our data private, right? I don't, and why can't we keep our money data private? This is kind of a data as well.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
oh yeah.
yeah,
I heard, I heard a guy saying today, like, so he was sending money, he was paying for something with his USDC, and then the next question he was asked, "Hey man, why do you have so much money lying in your account?" It's like, come on, man, why are you asking me this? Like, it's not your job, like, it's not your business. And yeah, for it's surprising to me that this is the basics, right? And we don't have this privacy. Crazy. Like, at least hiding the amount I have when I'm sending it to somebody. We don't have it yet. Yeah.
yeah, maybe we will have it. I think Sama is working on this app called Ray Cash. So, but it's not out yet. So it's I think we still need to wait for years. But they're working on something. So when you send money, it can be shielded, etc. But I think ultimately it depends on how much money you send. If you are sending 20 billion or 20 million to a poor, they cannot just do some mixing, etc., because the amount is too high. But I think this is something that we need to work on, and I'm very hopeful people will be working on this, and this could be a very good stable coin for payment and for real privacy. I think people talk about privacy on open AI and internet, and they should also care about privacy on money. And I think this is kind of basic right. And uh, I truly believe in this. I think that's why I'm in the industry, and that's why also you are in the industry as well.
Yeah, those who find the good mix and balance, of the privacy of the user, and basically, well, there should be enough privacy so that you could still somehow figure out bad actors. And this is a very difficult thinking game to solve, let's say. Yeah. How
Yes,
not to get banned by regulators for doing privacy. Yeah. We're
but
just
I
doing
think
privacy of biometrics, so we're all right. Everybody thinks biometrics should be private, like in the first place. So we don't have problems with privacy and regulators at all in that sense. But when you're talking about money, it's harder. Yeah.
yes, you guys are doing a great job, and yeah, I think we just need to be very yeah, we just need to take more importance in privacy. Meme coins are also good stuff, but I think there are just different school of thoughts, and I'm very glad that there are people working on this kind of privacy payment space. So hopefully, maybe Zama, Aztec, these kind of protocols can have a success. I think like if you see Zcash, Railguns, they were all having a very good run lately. So maybe this privacy matter will also come back. Let's see how it goes. And anyhow, I think this is a very good proof that the crypto technologies is very useful. Otherwise, it's just a very good proof that crypto is very useful, as far as I know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people cannot say the opposite already, just because it's already everywhere. People just don't see it. That's what I always expected, like crypto adoption to be honest. But yeah, we haven't solved a lot of things yet. We have solved the speculation. We have solved stable coins, which is great, and having better neobanks, but privacy, governance, we have a lot of things to work on in this space, and I don't know why people tell that crypto is dead in the good way. Yeah, so crypto is dead because uh, it's the time that we go to the next step as industry. But I believe no, it's too early to go to the next step because we haven't solved some of the basics yet. And yeah, all right, Chung. We been talking to 1 hour. Wow, it was. I didn't even notice that. And it's time to wrap up. And I think we had a pretty good conclusion here. And yeah, you're
Yeah.
truly an expert in yield bearing stablecoins, I can see.
Yeah. Thank you for this for hosting. I think you are doing great job, and I appreciate that. I think you should do more of these kind of uh podcasts and invite people to speak. In the industry, we need to have these kind of conversation so
Yeah,
people can reflect on. And I will be listening to your podcast in the future when you invite
thanks,
some
man.
other guests. I think this is a very good thing that you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's been the third one, and they're all very funny, and I enjoyed a lot as well, every conversation. And it's also very, very funny that sometimes I meet people first time. We just chatted a lot. Yes, we knew each other like for a year, maybe two, but we never saw each other. Yeah, that's funny.
Yes. Anyhow, good to speak with you and appreciate your time,
I
Victor.
appreciate you coming, man. And goodbye, everybody. And you too. Have a good rest of the week and weekend.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye bye.